episode of Girls of the Quantum. Desi Patilla, quantum healer from Timmins, Ontario, is here with Susan the Love Hacker from Montreal, Canada, and we are going to talk about the difference between acceptance and tolerance. Hi, Desi.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Susan. Thanks for this beautiful topic because it's a powerful one for sure.
Well, this is the thing, right? Because there are so many things we live with right now. And the reason why this is really such a fun topic, because not very many people know the difference between tolerance and acceptance, and they don't even realize that they are undergoing one or the other and wondering why shit is happening in their life when they are being so loving and accepting, when really it's not that. So here we want to really give all the tools for you to recognize which one you are actually living and then what to do about it. So Nancy, what are your thoughts about acceptance? You know, acceptance is such a big thing in the spiritual world. Be so accepting and loving,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Acceptance and tolerance are definitely different. They're not the same at all. Because when you are accepting something, you're actually in peace. You have clarity. You're in flow. When you're tolerating, you have inner turmoil. You're maybe accepting on the outside, but on the inside, you're chaotic. There's no peace there. It's like you're clouded, you're overwhelmed, you're resentful. It's not healthy at all. So, you can't reach a level of acceptance when, you're being abused and stuff like that. You're tolerating, right? You're tolerating it. But if you could try to maybe accept, okay, this is the situation right now. Try to be in a state of flow so that you can have the clarity to actually come up with solutions to change it. Because if you're in tolerance mode, you're in chaos mode, and there's no way you're going to have any clarity for solutions. So they're totally the opposite. Tolerance is total resistance to acceptance. So
That's exactly right. I love the way you put the fact that one is in inner turmoil, the other was inner peace.
yes.
So when you are in acceptance, you truly are in peace, and you can't pretend that.
No.
You can't pretend that. But you know what? Because in the spiritual world, the circles, they're so good at convincing themselves, because they're so in need to be that they don't even recognize when they're in inner turmoil. Have you seen that? I've seen so much of that.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of people will numb themselves by, being a help to others. So when they avoid their own situations, but they can help others, they feel like their life has meaning. They feel like there's purpose there. And so they can ignore or avoid the pain in their life. And that's definitely not helping them at all. And you're not even able to be of full service to anyone when you have that inner turmoil. You're not in flow of being in service. So it's chaos for you, and you're bringing them that energy as well, whoever you're serving. So it's not healthy. It's not peaceful. It's not pure love like you want it to be. People have great intentions, but when you're avoiding your own life and tolerating everything, but outwardly accepting, you're in denial. You got to do the work.
Yeah, you do have to do the work. I primarily work on this tolerance versus acceptance is because of when I do relationship work. So when I'm helping people with their relationships or with dating or anything that has to do with love, oh boy, I tell you, it's hilarious, because they just don't know that they are tolerating. And when you're having to tolerate in a marriage or in a relationship, and it's not just one-off cases, you're dealing with somebody where you're tolerating them 24/7. There's only so much tolerance we can undergo. Acceptance is a much more flowy. It's because there's no, like you said, there's no internal chaos created from acceptance, which means the sign that you know you're tolerating versus accepting, tolerating will lead to passive aggression and resentment.
You said it right there. It's so true.
These are just, I need to give people clues of how to detect the truth, because we're so good at BSing ourselves. Oh, I'm accepting. So then why are you passively aggressive to that person all the time? Passive aggression is a big clue that you are not accepting something. Don't you think? It's logical.
Absolutely illogical. So true. But people don't realize they're being passive aggressive. Often they don't even know. They're not conscious of it. It's so subconscious of them, right? So It becomes a habit when you've been tolerating someone's BS for so long that you're in the habit of being that way. You don't even know anymore. It's been years of it. It's
No.
changed who you are even because you've just been intolerant. And it can even make you sick. Like you could have issues with your liver because liver is where resentment and anger go, and which makes your body toxic, which can raise your blood pressure or cause all kinds of health issues.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Even if you're tolerating, it could be that you're accepting, but because you don't understand the differences, or you don't know how to rationalize what you're having to tolerate, because you can turn tolerance into acceptance if you understand the whole scenario. So let me give you an example. A passive aggression, yeah, it's very clear passive aggression. If you're if the other person is constantly doing things that frustrates you, or makes you upset or angry, or that you're constantly nitpicking at them or nagging them. The nagging is, or dictating, a lot of my clients are, but I don't nag. Oh yes, you do. You dictate. It's the same thing, except even worse. The nagging comes with crybaby. The dictatorship comes with anger.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same thing. It's just in different costumes, Halloween costumes. So it's
Yeah.
still Halloween.
You're so cute.
No, that's true. So how do we turn tolerance into acceptance, right? Because sometimes it's not tolerance. Sometimes it's acceptance, but you don't know why you're accepting it. So therefore it causes confusion. I mean, it's such a complex thing when it comes to our emotions around tolerance or accepting. But in a relationship, it's critical that you understand the two. So to me, acceptance, or to everybody, this is just the way it is, what acceptance is it has to be tied to your core values, right? So if your core values with that other person are shared, then great. If, let's say, for example, my husband and I, we've been together 20 years. So I've had to go through the whole process of, is it tolerance or do I accept it? Is it tolerance or do I accept it? Things like, I have like an obsession about not putting clothing or pillows, anything on the floor. I don't put things on the floor except my shoes or my slippers or my feet. That's the only thing. I don't even like sitting on the floor. Okay. I just don't, nothing goes on the floor except those things. But Kevin, he would come home after walking a long walk from downtown or whatever, and his clothes would be hot and sweaty. So he would put it on the floor, not the carpet, like the bathroom floor, so that it could air out. And I'm constantly picking it up in the beginning. It just drove me nuts. Why are clothes on the floor? Either they go in the hamper, like I'm so OCD that way. But anyway, but I've had to learn that, okay, hold on. There are certain things that, okay, he has a logic to it. I get it. So it's my problem that I have an issue with things on the floor. So I had to me, okay, so that's one thing I accept. I didn't have to tolerate. Now I understand. So you could turn tolerance into acceptance by having a rational understanding around why somebody does what they do. If he didn't have a rational thing and he's fighting me back, say, well, don't tell me what to do. I'm going to do it my way. And there's no communication. Then I'd be tolerating. You see the difference? So communication is critical. Communication and understanding what is behind the intention of something or someone is really important. So isn't it really critical that we learn how to be conscious and communicate, and also just help each other come to an understanding of why we do what we do? The moment we disrespect somebody with silence or shutting them down, you're going to have kickback, and then you're not going to be able to move from tolerance to acceptance. There are other things I don't tolerate. Lying, I don't tolerate it. If even a white lie, I will torture you until you become truthful with me. Otherwise, get the hell out of my space.
Hate lying too. Oh, lying in your face and you feel it, the energy of a lie, and oh, I can't. I can't. That just pisses me right off. I'll just have you out of my life then. Stay out of my life. If you're gonna be a consistent liar, I can't. No, thank you.
No, I mean, these are the things everybody God knows.
Little lies here and there, but big things where, oh my gosh, it's so insulting. Oh my God, no, thank you.
It is. It's so insulting. And that's the thing. So that's my I can't say it's a deal breaker, but it certainly is a deal breaker for my kindness. I am not kind when I'm being lied to. I'm not. I'm just, sorry. There's no kindness to that. So at that point, it puts our guard up.
Yeah.
And then we make a decision how we're going to respond. So either we shut you down and you don't have an open door to my heart.
Yes. Yeah, your heart just closes.
Yep. Of course it does. Or I just walk. These are the things that if you feel frustrated throughout your day with somebody, with a person, then it's time to look at what are you frustrated about it, and what is there that you can do about it. Not like in a marriage, even for myself, so many times I'm like, okay, well, I'm not tolerating this. So what am I going to do about it? So if I'm not going to tolerate it, what am I going to do about it? So there's a process that we go through. And then if I'm not ready to take that step to take care of what I'm tolerating, then I will get an explanation. I will try to work on it through communication. But then I'm still 1 foot out the door, closer and closer if it doesn't change. Isn't that the only way we can survive through situations?
You're aware too, right? A lot of people, if they've been through trauma or losses or anything like that, where they're super wounded and they have lack of self-worth or they're carrying shame and stuff, they will actually accept things that are unacceptable. And it's a tolerance at the soul level because the soul will know better, but yet the humanness in that person doesn't realize it. And so they will accept all kinds of BS. They'll accept abuse, they'll accept all kinds of crap. But yet your soul is like in tolerance mode. So there's a conflict inside. And man, that can lead to a lot of illness, that can lead to addictions, all kinds of things to try to numb yourself because your soul is trying to speak to you and tell you, hello, like you're worthy of more than this BS. Like, wake up. Yeah. Got your angels and your guides around you, like screaming at you, and you're like, you're in your own little world of unworthiness and lack of self-love and acceptance, that you're just like settling for crumbs of love or crumbs of attention, or even just drama is keeping you alive, like it's become oxygen or something. So you'll accept all kinds of BS just to keep yourself feeling like you're alive somehow. So there's a lot of toxicity in that kind of acceptance for sure. So as you work on yourself and learn to know who you are, and you have an awareness of your worth and the love that you are, then you will accept a lot less. And, you'll accept, but move on. You'll tolerate a lot less. You'll move on. You will and know that there's more for you in this life, that you're worth more. So like abusive relationships and stuff, like there's so much of it. I see it all the time with clients where they're being abused mentally, emotionally, some physically, and they're putting up with this. And I'm like these are women that are men even that you think have great self-esteem. They have reason to have great self-esteem because you see what they are, but yet they think they're nothing and they put up with this crap, right? So as they go on a journey to self-love and faith and different things that help to feed their souls, then they're less tolerant and more accepting, but taking action and moving on because they have that clarity of the acceptance, that inner peace with like, it's about having that inner peace without allowing the chaos around you to come in, so that you can have clarity for solutions. You can have that inspiration and motivation to move forward and make your life better with or without those beings around you that you're tolerating or having to accept in the moment. It's like,
well, the more
so much to it.
yes, there is so much to it. It's very complex and it's very deep. And
Yes.
it also triggers our worst fears of abandonment, of rejection, of being alone. And so many people, I mean, I think it's a normal thing for all of us humans to be scared of being alone or rejected. And we go through the process. Everybody has to go through a process of fear of rejection. Nobody likes the feeling, right? All negative feelings are just there to be worked through. That's all it is. It's not, doesn't make us lesser. But I think tolerance is such a negative thing for us to have to choose to live with because it eats us alive every day. It keeps, for us to accept the tolerance, this is another layer. So if, let's say, for example, never mind relationships, that's another story. That's a lot harder to just jump in and out of. If you're married, you're not jump out to so many things that are connected. But even friends, to me, I've gone through so many friends in my life, and whether or not we get bored of each other, whether or not I get bored of them, whether or not we've outgrown each other, it doesn't matter what. I've gone through friends, like I've gone through underwear, and I changed my underwear a lot. So my father used to be worried about me as I was young, because he's like, I'm worried that you're never going to get married. You're just constantly changing. And I changed men like underwear too. It's, thank God this marriage lasted. Right. But to me, it's just because I will not tolerate, I cannot tolerate it. I start going down the rabbit hole of victimization. I start feeling like a victim. The moment we have to tolerate things that we don't have a voice or freedom of expression to let it go or walk away, yes, we're a victim. If there's something that we do not like that goes against our core beliefs and who we are and what we stand for, if it goes against our standards, if you have any, if it breaks through our boundaries, if you have any, then we're just victimizing ourselves. Talk about self-sabotage. So yes. To me, if I can, there are certain things that are deal breakers for me where I do not tolerate. I cannot be with people that live in fear. I can't. It just, because otherwise I will become a dictator and I'm going to save you from me. How about that one? So people that live in fear, people that are hypocritical. They say one thing, oh, I'm spiritual, and yet they're spewing all fear shit all over social media. No, I'm sorry. I cannot tolerate that.
And, arguing. Yeah.
Like,
fighting with people.
And that's why I love the posts that you post. It's either they're funny or they're truly enlightening, but you're not spewing fear all over the place and then claiming to be some quantum healer. You are living your light. And I could see that in the information that you decide to share. Your choices and decisions show me the truth. So if I don't tolerate your hypocrisy, then I'm not going to hang with you. I'm not going to do anything with you, because you know what? There's so many good souls out there that I could choose to give my love and time to. Never mind my own family, right? Never mind myself. But this is the thing. Prioritize what's important to you. And the people that don't align with you, you don't have to tolerate.
No. You can let them go compassionately. You don't even have to announce it to some. Like if you're not in a current relationship with them where you have to live with them, you don't have to announce anything. You just pull away and I'm busy, whatever. You don't have to hurt anyone, but energetically, you can definitely let them go and send love. Yeah. You have to have trust. Like if someone's hypocritical, how are you going to trust them? Right. You need consistency. Like consistency is so important, and depends on your values. It depends as well on your programming, your subconscious programming, were you raised a certain way to feel like you're unlovable, unworthy, or you should tolerate certain things, you have to accept everything. Our subconscious beliefs do hinder us sometimes, and they can determine our values at the time in some ways, but our values determine our character and what brings us meaning and fulfillment in our lives. And yeah, we have to really work as a whole being to be at our utmost best. We do. We can't be fragmented. We have to be at our best. And then when we're a whole, when we've done the work, we've done the shadow work and everything else, then we really will shift our values to be totally fulfilling, but we're also going to change what we're willing to accept in life. And the tolerance level will definitely go down. I mean, it won't even be there like yours is. Like you don't have tolerance for many things, and that's good. That's so healthy. Because you're not drained. Like you don't want to be drained all the time. What kind of life is that?
No, you don't want, and this is the key. You just nailed it. It's how drained you feel at the end of the day. It's what you're tolerating. So here are there some of the tools, or here's one tool that I use to change the tolerance to acceptance. I go through a process of, okay, well, what can I do? Is it somebody close to me? Is it a family member? Is it somebody that is a friend that really, in the end of the day, whether they go or not, you have to really determine where these people stand in your life. And everybody needs a different technique. Like if it's just a friend, you can literally say, hey, nice knowing you, but we don't share the same values. We don't share the same standards, and we don't operate in the same way. And so, it's not like I'm higher or she's lower, he's lower. No, it just misalignment is misalignment. Time to walk and respectfully, the whole conscious uncoupling thing. Yes, conscious uncoupling of friendships as well. Conscious uncoupling of couples as well. I think when you do it that way, it actually shows the universe just how empowered you are, and it will give you on the next gift something of a higher vibration. You don't want to leave a shitty situation to attract another shitty situation. That's not the point.
No. And that's where I find like shadow work is key to almost everything in your life. It really is, because that's where you're going to step into wholeness. And that's going to change how you view everything, how you live in every single way, what you feed yourself, whether it's, food, drink, entertainment, or the people you surround yourself with, the love that you're taking in and giving. It's so huge to do the shadow work. And to me, that's like the ultimate journey is that. And then you step into your wholeness. You're embracing all of who you are. All your quirks, all the past, everything is all accepted and loved. And
So
then
is that how you overcame, because you were queen people saver, queen people pleaser, like queen. So is that how you move through that process and out of it? Is it through shadow work?
yeah, I did a lot of trauma work because I realized as a child I had gone through so much that I was tolerating so much BS. So like I had a friend who, wanted to destroy my marriage, and she was married and stuff. She was my best friend at the time. And she just wanted what I had. But I always had her on a pedestal. I always like, that's she like, and she has good aspects to herself, of course, but like it was like you had to compliment her. Everything was about the physical for her. So it was like she was so insecure that I had this inner knowing that she needed compliments. So it was like everything just revolved around her until she freaking said, she was she was with my husband, which wasn't even true. And like we were always together. So I'm like, when would that have happened? But like just crazy obsessive stuff. It went on for 3 years. And even though I cut her out of my life, she was still obsessing over having what I had. It was very bizarre. But I don't hate her. I wish her the best. I hope she finds herself. And yeah, there's no resentment there. But I had to end that friendship, right? So when I did the trauma work, the inner child work, that helped me to find strength to do these kinds of things. But I did a lot of that when I found out I was going to become a mother. That was my biggest thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to be my best self. So that is like, oh my God, like almost 2 decades ago that I was like, okay, I've got to change a lot of things. I've got to be better. And so once I did that work, and I didn't do it in a week. Like, I mean, there were layers here and there, like an onion layer here and there, peeling back the layers of an onion over time, but it's empowering. And it's so liberating. And it brings you onto that path of service, of impact you want to have in the world, of living your soul's calling. And even still today, I'm like, you know what? I think I'm on my right path. I feel that I am. But whatever you have for me, God, like I'm open. If there's something else that you need to bring into my life, or I need to do something else for you, you're my CEO. Creator is my CEO. I work for you. You decide my path. I'm an open conduit, take over. And that's where shadow work has brought me. Like, accepting all aspects of my being. And I have a lot of freaking weird quirks. A lot. I'm freaking weird, man. Like, people have told me I'm weird all my life. I'm like hypersensitive and freaking feel all this shit. And so weird, like eccentric the way I dress a lot of the time. Like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of weird things. But I've embraced it all. And I'm like, I'm okay with it. Whatever. I live in one of the most normal places in the world. And yeah, I dress like a freak sometimes. But, I like those caftans and stuff. And Braden's like, oh my God, Mom, like my friends think you dress like crazy, And I'm like, whatever, I'm happy in my caftan and my, my flower wreath on my head, or like whatever feels feminine and flowy and fun, and just be you.
It's a wonder it's a wonder how you and I got together.
Why, am I too weird for you?
Am I too boring for you?
No, you're not boring. You're crazy. I love it.
No, but it's so crazy how we're all weird. I think like I'm normal, like corporate normal compared to you, because you're free. You're a free spirit, and it took a lot for you to become a free spirit. So you always free, but then it was quirky free, but now it's like empowered free. But me beside my husband, I look like the freakazoid, Nothing makes sense. Nothing is logical, but it works out better than the logic. So I think in the end of the day, it takes for us to learn how to tolerate ourselves. And that's what the shadow work is all about. I think for me, thank goodness, I've always intuitively done the shadow work. I've always been very self-aware and I started from self-absorbed to self-centered to self-aware. Right. But here's the thing, though. I think being aware of all of ourselves is the key, is the freedom to understanding how to tolerate people. Because if we could tolerate ourselves, then we learn what tolerance is all about. Huh?
Yeah.
I mean, if we don't tolerate ourselves, then we will numb ourselves, we will reject ourselves, we detach from our body, which is detaching from our intuition, which we did an episode on tuning into your intuition. So all that self-rejection is going to cause you to be detached from everybody else, which means you're just going to end up tolerating everything without even knowing what acceptance is. But the moment, like the work that you did, turning from queen, like it's so hard. She had both of queen savior and queen people pleaser. I mean, another client of mine too. I've never seen two aspects so equally strong, which is very powerful, but powerful in a negative way in the beginning, but powerful in a massive way going forward. But honestly, like we have to accept ourselves first to truly understand what acceptance is. But the only way that we can start, not everybody's at the point where we can accept ourselves, but just be on the lookout for what causes you frustration when it's other people. And also, why are you still there? Okay, fine. If it's your husband or wife, so okay, let's look at why you're still there. Okay, you can't get divorced fast enough, or you have house of finances and everything tied. Fine, fine, fine. Okay, fine. But what's the plan? If there's no plan, it means you're just tolerating. If there's a plan, it means there's a means to an end, which you're accepting in the meantime. You see what I'm saying? So it's such a delicate thing, but start with, are you frustrated with somebody out there constantly? And are they in your life or are they not in your life? Because there are some people that are just frustrated all the time at social media, everybody. I'm like, what the heck? What does that have to do with you?
Frustration. Yeah, there are some. And even in marriages, like, sometimes if each person does their individual work, you can fall back in love if it's not like severe, like abuse that you've been going through and stuff. You can, like, if it's little stupid things that are annoying to you, there might be resentments from God knows what throughout the years. And if you do your shadow work and your spouse does shadow work, you could actually heal your marriage and keep your family healthy and happy and whole. You don't have to, but you can, because the grass isn't necessarily greener with someone else who hasn't done their shadow work. I mean, it could be, but there's no guarantee. I've seen people break up because of crazy things, and then they end up with someone else that they thought would be like the most ultimate being. And oh my God, worse than ever. Gosh, I had a client years ago. He was one of my first clients I ever had when I did massage therapy. And when he was diagnosed with cancer, he called me and not his wife. And I was in Sedona with my husband at the time. He called me, and he always put his wife on a pedestal, and she was spoiled rotten, like she was like a little queen. But I thought they had a really great marriage. And then when he was going through his cancer journey, oh my gosh, it was painful because he was a martyr. He had a very abusive mother, a very mentally ill mother. So he put his wife on a pedestal and put up with shit like you would never imagine. Abuse, actually. I won't even go into details. It's so heart-wrenching because I love this man so much. And so did Luke. Like, he was incredible. Sweetest soul ever. So anyway, now that woman is married to someone else. And she says to me, I run into her and she says, oh my gosh, I had the ultimate husband back in the day. She's like, now this guy's so mentally abusive and knows everything. And I'm like, well, you're getting what you gave. Getting what you gave.
Karma's a bitch.
Yeah. But you know what? That's someone, when I see her, I want to turn the other way because I don't even want to deal with it, because I think of everything that happened with my poor client who, if only he knew his worth, he wouldn't have tolerated the shit. And I'm talking shit. Like, it was bad. It was so bad. So yeah, he died like in his 50s because he tolerated, he got sick, right? You can't live with martyrdom and think you're going to live a healthy life. You can't constantly tolerate and think you're going to be healthy.
No, because
You're
they're
going to be sick.
self-sabotage. They're self-sabotage.
Huge. Yeah. So
Listen
doing your
to our
shadow work.
episode. Listen to
Oh
our
yeah.
episode on self-sabotage. What we do to our body as a
Ugh.
way of torturing ourselves for tolerating or living against our integrity.
Yeah. Heartbreaking. And so many are. So many people are. Yeah. It's really sad because You see their potential. You see the love that they are. They don't see the beauty that they are. They don't see the miracle that they are, the love that they exude. Even though they don't love themselves, they are so kind and compassionate with everyone else, but not with themselves. And oh my gosh, what they tolerate and how they abuse themselves. You know, you just want to save them. Here comes the savior. But you want to plant those seeds and you're hoping, you know, maybe they'll come and work with me because I really want to help them. But not everybody's ready, but you can always send love to them and pray for them and hope to God they can learn to love themselves.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I think I try to send love even to the people that I've tolerated. The moment I can release somebody from my tolerance, I'm actually doing them a favor, because with the passive aggression and the self-sabotage that comes with me accepting things or tolerating things that just go against my integrity and my dignity. So if somebody doesn't treat me or respect me in the way that I believe I deserve to be respected, if I tolerate disrespect, my greatest accountability is not even any one person. I am held accountable to how the laws of the universe. One of the laws of the universe is law of attraction. If I tolerate somebody ongoingly without acceptance and it frustrates me, I'm then sending a direct memo to the universe to keep sending me more of people like that. And that is what holds me accountable. The law of attraction is one of the most powerful laws, but the most misunderstood laws in our industry. No one, I swear, I don't know any one person that has mastered it in the way that I believe should be mastered. But the moment I hold on to somebody in tolerance, I am sending a direct message to the universe to send me more of that person. That's enough for me to say, sayonara, I love you, but we don't share the same values, or I've changed, you've changed. I don't know. Maybe I've moved ahead, or hey, right now we don't align. And I do not want to attract more people in my life that's going to do what you're doing that goes against my values. That's it. I want to attract only the most beautiful things into my life. And so the more I keep those type of people in my life, even a marriage, do you know how many times I've evaluated my marriage and say, is it time to stay or go? Like, I really, like, sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, because I think my expectations for myself in staying in integrity and dignity is so obsessive, because I abide by the laws. It's not that Kevin is equal to me. He's not. He's nowhere close to understanding what I understand in these laws, but at least he's open to listen. He might not get it. It might take him years, but at least he's trying and working towards a middle point is good enough for me. But if it's hypocrisy, oh, I can't. Hypocrisy is just another form of lying, but it's even trickery.
Yes, it is very triggering. I can't stand it. No. I'm feeling the trigger inside right now. I'm like, oh, it's so annoying.
Yeah, like the love and light. That's hypocrisy. It's not lying, it's hypocrisy. You say
if you don't mean it, don't say it. Just don't say it. You don't have to, because it's a trendy thing. Like namaste. Though if you mean it, you can feel it when it's not. So yeah, it's a trigger a little bit.
It's hypocrisy. It's spiritual ego. It's hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is basically pretending to be something you're not and then fooling people with it. Like you've created this movie script around it. But you know what the truth is, though, because the law of attraction will always kick in with the truth. I look at what your life looks like.
Yeah.
You can't claim to be abundant if you are living in a yurt in the jungle.
You're funny.
Because that's all you
abundant within then, right? Abundant within. You're happy with that. You're a nomad. Like, that's okay if you're happy.
If you're happy, though.
Yeah. Are you happy? Well, that's what matters. But yeah.
But then if you're happy with that, if you're truly happy, then the universe will send you people exactly like that, because somebody like me who looks at abundance in a very different way ain't gonna go to a yurt to get a place.
You're so cute. Oh, you're so funny.
Oh, like the law of, hey, it's not me judging, it's the law of attraction. If you understand
different values, different interests, you know, it's like some people, their values are, you know, to travel the world. They don't want to invest in a home. They don't want to be mortgage poor or whatever. They want to invest in travel and life experience. Doesn't make you wrong. do it then. Don't hold yourself back. Enjoy yourself, live your life. Some people want a steady paycheck, some people want to be entrepreneurs and, just be all over the map at first and then have more steady income or whatever it takes. Everybody's different. Some people just want variety, some people want certainty. Everybody's so different. And that's okay. Nobody's wrong. Whatever's right for you.
You still need money to travel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're gonna do a canoe over the Pacific Ocean?
No, but you can, like, I have friends that actually travel and they're entrepreneurs. They don't have a really like a home base that they're at all the time. They have a place, where their mail and all that goes or whatever, but they're traveling the world. They're having a blast homeschooling their kids and they're loaded, but they're like living the life like of adventure. And I'm like, oh, good for you. That's freaking cool.
Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely.
No, they're having so much fun.
Oh, I would love that, right? I mean, there will come a time when we're going to do that because I really do want to just tune out and well, not tune out. I'm never going to be tuned out, but just to be a little bit of more of a nomad. My husband is so planted, like he could live in one place. He loves our home so much he can never see himself changing homes. And I'm like, I could change the home tomorrow if I find I have my eye on a better one. But he does not like when he loves something, he loves it. Like I'm like, he loves it. So I guess he's not divorcing me anytime soon, but he just does not like to. So, but I love changing all the time.
Yeah, me too. I love traveling. I love adventure. I want to live everywhere we go all the time. Luke always laughs at me. Oh my God, I love it here. I want to live here like San Diego. I love San Diego. I love it. I want to live in San Diego. He's like, you only love San Diego because of the people we've hung out with here. Like you have dinners with these awesome people. But I love the energy of San Diego. I just do. But you fall in love with places and I could live all over the place. Totally.
I think you and I are just addicted to experience.
Yeah.
Like fun experience.
Yeah.
And just it's such freedom to be able to connect with people. It doesn't matter who it is. I love hearing people's stories. I ask a lot of questions. By the time I come back from one lunch, I know more about that person than Kevin will ever know in 10 years because men just don't ask those type of questions, like, or people just share it with you and me. Like I love listening to people's stories because isn't it beautiful? Your life is such a gift. It's whatever stories you have, it doesn't matter. The more we fuck up in our life, it's such beautiful stories.
Yeah, it is. We learn and grow from them. And there's so many, like when someone's sharing their heart with you, their story, oh my gosh, that connection, that intimate soul connection. Oh my God. Like you don't forget that. That's an imprint for life. Like that's just so meaningful. I find. Yeah, I've met some of the best people traveling for sure.
Yeah. As we wrap up on this conversation about acceptance and tolerance, whoever's watching us on YouTube, please put your comments down. I want to hear, and Nancy wants to hear about how you are tolerating or what you are tolerating. And we're going to ask her these questions. What are you tolerating? What other clarity do you need? And how are you even accepting? And how are you living in that love and light for real, not fake? But how are you living in the love and light? What are you accepting? Let's have a dialogue. Let's everybody share each other's experiences. We want to hear. There is no wrong or right here. Everything, every truth is always beautiful, and every truth will set you free. So whatever it is, let's share our gifts and share our experiences, let's share our knowledge. But Nancy, is there anything else you want to say about acceptance before we go, and love and light?
Well, the more you go within and take inventory of your life and realize what's actually hurting you, you could actually visualize each person in your life and then journal how they make you feel, how you feel around them. And remember, people can't squeeze orange juice out of an apple, right? So whatever's in you is in you. And it could be because you haven't done your shadow work either. We can't just blame people for certain things and claim that we're tolerating them when they could possibly be tolerating our BS too, right? So when you picture them and write down how you feel around them, reflect on that and ask yourself, like when you do enough inventories of different people, you might see a pattern of what you think you're tolerating that could be related to the shadow work that you need to do. Okay. It could bring some clarity there. And it's not about blaming yourself, judging yourself, hating on yourself, carrying shame. It's awareness. And sometimes awareness will save your friendships. It will save your family relations. It will save your marriage. It can save your relationship with your child. I know people that don't even talk to their own kids, so often it's because we haven't done our own work, that we are tolerating, or we see ourselves as victims tolerating. Do your work. And, you know, we can guide you there. We're going to have the best community ever on the planet. At least we think so. For people to be safe, to be loved through the process, because it is a process. Absolutely. But miracles can happen quite quickly when you're open and willing. So you just have to take that first step and be willing, but do the inventory on each person, check out the patterns that are coming up, and you'll know.
Guilt-free. Do that process without feeling
no
because
guilt.
it's invisible. It's your work with yourself. It's private. There's no guilt or judgment there. This is how you feel. We should never judge. So you're right. Doing that inventory on how people make you feel, but then we have to go into our feelings. But yeah, no, that's a really great exercise. I think for me, the most important exercise for me that I have done is I've looked at also when you learn how to let go of somebody energetically, never mind physically. So whenever I do this work, I always do the energetic first before I tell that person to go do anything. Most of the time, right? It's true, right? I can get you to reject me energetically before I ever have to reject anybody. I never have to reject anybody because first of all, they don't come. So why should I reject? I'd rather them reject me by not coming to me. So I can let you go energetically in my mind. You know, it's an exercise that we do energetically where we visualize themselves moving away in a bubble with a smile. And we put love, we blow love into that bubble and send them off with love. But it's letting go with love and grace and letting go, not bolting, not running away from somebody, but letting them go. Letting go and running away are two different things. So when you let them go with a loving energy, with light, they will go physically, literally. People will just disappear in your life. Now, if you're going to hang on to them feeling all rejected, well, that's kind of going against yourself. So when you make a decision that it's time, that you're ready to let them go with love, then do it, but commit. That's a commitment to yourself, that you have to stay in commitment to your decision. And that's a powerful thing. Let somebody else walk away from you, solve your problem, and you don't have to worry about rejection. So anybody who's a people pleaser out there, please do this inventory thing that Nancy just said, and then send people off with light with the intention, though. This is the key. When you set an intention to do this exercise, it's not to just lose things, but with opening up the heart to much more aligned people that come into your life. Isn't that a beautiful intention?
Oh, so beautiful. And it works. It works. I've done cord cutting with people, but I won't do just cord cutting. There's a healing process with that so that you don't have to come back again for another cord cutting. Like, I know people that are like, oh shit, I had to go see so-and-so for like 12 cord cuttings. Oh, come on. Like, you know, it can't just be like cord cutting. Like, there's more to it. It's a process. But I get totally what you're saying is beautiful, because when you do let go of what's not for you and who's not for you, people do come in that are so in alignment with your heart. It's beautiful. It's amazing. I've experienced that the last 6 years, especially. Like, it's been incredible, just beautiful. So yeah, it's worth it. So do it.
It is worth it. And with our community, we can walk people through this, letting you feel safe in those feelings. And Nancy, love sprinkler, will sprinkle love as you feel all that painful stuff. Let's get together and all of us help each other elevate, because it's all about every time we close one door, two doors open, and that's just the way it is in our world. So come into our world. We'll walk you through it. But again, if you're on YouTube, all your comments are valuable. All your comments are valued here. So that's it for the tolerance and acceptance. If there's anything else that you have to say, Nancy, otherwise we will turn off the acceptance and tolerance for now.
Just know that you are loved and you are loved and you are a miracle. You're beautiful. And when you work on accepting yourself and recognizing that, oh my gosh, you're giving everyone else permission to be accepting of themselves and of you as well.
And we're closing off with love sprinkles.
Love you all.
Love you all. Love you, Nancy. Love you. And see you on the next episode.
Absolutely. Bye for now, sweethearts.
Bye-bye.